you doing? Reverend Michael McMorrow coming to you from the sanctuary in the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills, California. North San Fernando Valley, if you're from out of the area, where we welcome all who practice their beliefs and faith and love. And it's our Healing and Revealing service. And since the first of the year, we've been doing a little movement just to get us unwound a little bit. So you can do this sitting in your chair, or you can do it standing up. And we're just going to start by swirling, I suppose. Swirling in your chair would be a bit of a trick. And I'm double layered here because it's a little chill in the sanctuary. But we're just warming up the trunk and just allowing ourselves to twist the night away. Yeah, so we're just shaking off the day. All right, and then if you're in the chair, we'll start here in the chair. And so we're going to take a deep breath. And just stretch. And then release. And then take a deep breath. Just being gentle with the shoulders. Reach and exhale. So if you're standing, then you just reach and exhale, and then we're going to do a little forward fold. I'll try not to breathe heavy. So we're just stretching out, knees bent, taking a deep breath. And exhale. And you can also do this with a chair. So you can just use the chair to support you, bending your knees, just stretching out that lower back a little bit. Okay, bending our knees, taking a deep breath. And exhaling again. And of course, you yoga practitioners out there, you're doing your own thing. All right, releasing, coming up again, and exhaling. Okay, so now we're just going to do a little side stretch. Same idea. Deep breath. And then we're just going to bring it over. And just being gentle with the shoulder, but we're just lengthening this side. Then exhale. And inhale up. And lengthen that side. Maybe look up past your shoulder and exhale. And if you're in the chair, you can just do it. Taking a deep breath. Again, stretching that, lengthening that side. Exhale. Breathing up. And again, protecting that shoulder. Exhale. All right. And then we'll just sway. Do a little twist action again. See, how could you do that in a chair? Yeah, so you can just do it in the chair like this. You know, you can feel a little stretch in there. I don't know why I'm thinking of Jack LaLanne right now. I'm dating myself. Yeah, all right. calling one of those white German shepherds that he used to have. All right, so Mike's going to give you a little waterfall from County Killarney. That would be in Ireland, in case you couldn't tell. All right, so I hope that you like that little warm-up. I know I appreciate it after sitting at the desk. And I had a busy Zoom week this week, like many of you, I'm sure. And I'm all buttoned up here, so Mike, I told you I'd be too warm. I'm psychic. All right, so great to have you here. So just check your seat however you need to be comfortable, and we'll move into our little program here tonight. So taking a deep breath one more time, and exhaling. And in that exhale, just allow ourselves to surrender to this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. That fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this evening. So the first candle we light is for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. The seventh candle we light for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here at our center. And as we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I surrender. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I surrender. I surrender.
And so join me in taking a breath one more time and releasing. And in that release is the surrender to this eternal now moment, recognizing and knowing that there is but one power, one presence, one source, one life of the divine, both impressing and expressing itself in, through, and as all of life. So as there is no spot where God is not, the living Spirit is alive and well in the soul of me and within all beings. And so from this conscious unity and awareness of the one and our oneness together, what I know is that we are here, that we are open at the top to have an experience unlike any other here this evening. That we release any attachment to the outcome, how this meditation is supposed to be, what happens next, when's it going to end. We're just releasing all of that stuff and just allowing whatever transpires to be what it is. Even as we set an intention within that. Taking a deep breath with that. And releasing, or even humming if you like. We're just releasing this. All our cares, concerns, intentions, to that aspect of the mind of the divine from which all things flow. In gratitude and confidence, we let it be. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. So, thank you. Thank you again for joining us. If you've just popped in. Again, my name's Reverend Mike McMorrow, and I'm here at the center in Granada Hills, and we're working with this book, The Infinite Way, Joel Goldsmith, a pretty juicy metaphysician. And so his perspective on the nature of reality is not unlike that of many mystics. Of course, this is a fairly modern fellow. And so see how this sits with you. So he's speaking this evening from the chapter of putting on immortality, putting on immortality. And so last week we left off with just talking about spiritual healing and how that relates to immortality. And tonight he's going to be speaking directly about immortality. He says this on page 30, that we misunderstand immortality when we think of it. I'm breathing too hard into this, huh? Should I lower it a little bit? Or just lift my head up? How's that? I don't want to pop you guys out. Okay, so we misunderstand immortality when we think of it as the immortality of the human personality or personal sense. Death does not produce immortality or end personal sense, nor does the continuation of human existence mean the attainment of immortality. So Mike, turn this down for just a second and I'm going to move it. Just turn the mic down. And then check that out. Pop, pop, pop. That's a little better, right? Okay. So it's kind of hard to get into a calm meditative state if you got some guy popping in your ear, right? Okay. All right, so taking a breath. Releasing. All right, so immortality is attained in proportion as personal sense is overcome, whether here or hereafter. As we put off the personal ego and attain the consciousness of our real self, the reality of us, or divine consciousness, we attain immortality, and that can be achieved here and now. The desire to perpetuate our false sense of body and wealth ensnares us into death or mortality. So the first step in the attainment of immortality is living out from the center of our being, as in the idea of unfoldment from within, rather than accretion. So accretion is the idea that there's a gradual growth that's happening. It is the giving sense rather than getting, being rather than attaining. In this consciousness, there is no condemnation, judgment, hatred, or fear, but rather a continuous feeling of love and forgiveness. A continuous feeling of love and forgiveness. That's setting the bar quite high, no? It is not a simple matter to show forth the joy and peace of immortality, because to those intent on preserving their present concepts of being, immortality would appear to be extinction. This is not the case. It is the eternal preservation of all that is real, fine, noble, harmonious, gracious, unselfish, and peaceful. It is reality brought to light in place of the illusion of sense. It is the conscious awareness of the infinity of the individual being, replacing the finite sense of existence. Selfishness and conceit fall away in the realization of the divinity of our being. This realization brings forth patience and forbearance with those still struggling in mortal material consciousness. It is being in the world, but not of it. So they have a saying in 12-step, what an order, I can't go through with it. So he's set the bar really high here, hasn't he? And yet, I think many of us, certainly those of us who are committed to a meditation practice, have had glimpses of what that could be, of what it tastes like, of what it, a sense, almost like a scent of it, if you will. And that is the promise of meditation, because it's been, in my experience, that it's difficult to achieve these states when you're hustling and bustling. And in fact, Joel even talks about that when we're all caught up in the material world. This deeper sense of reality or truth within is difficult to connect with. So there is a scientific perspective from this. I was just listening on the radio today. There's a book out entitled Chatter, and it talks about the author was speaking to the voice that we have we each have an interior voice. And how the ancients believed that this interior voice that we have, and I think you know what I'm talking about, that some cultures believed it was the voice of God, and others believed it was the voice of the devil. So I guess it depended on your perspective. The thing that I found interesting about that is that the awareness within the human culture that this voice exists. So in meditation, of course, we're observing that voice, and we understand to be thought, and that we are observing and slowing down that process with the result. I don't want to say goal, because then we get into striving, and when we're striving, we're attached, and when we're attached, it puts it further off. In meditation, we're not resisting, we're not striving, we're simply being, and we're observing. And with practice, we can observe the space between thought. And that's an interesting state to be. So let's see, it's practice meditators can get there relatively quickly. We'll see how we can do with that tonight. We have a lot of time. So what do you say we get a good 20-minute sit-in? So I'll take us through the usual introduction if this is your regular thing. If this is your first time, don't worry about it. When I talk about following the breath, I'm just talking about paying attention to the movement of the breath in your nostril. And then as you become aware of that, then you can focus on the movement of on the exhale. And you'll see that your mind begins to still. And if that's available to you, then see if you can detect the movement of your breath on your upper lip. So these are very subtle sensations. And then we'll just do a body scan. And if you find tension in your body, then you can just believe, this actually works, believe it or not. So you can just take a deep breath. Let's say you have a little tension in your legs. You just take a breath. And then exhale, and just exhale into that place that's tight. And on the exhale, you'll feel it unwinding. So there's plenty to pay attention to. And the idea is to not get hooked by any particular thought. If you should find you do, just take a deep breath and then return back to the breath. Okay, so what do you say we get started? So let's take a deep breath together. And just sigh it out. Just getting our wiggles and jiggles out. So I don't know about you, but I got a lot of tension in my neck tonight just from sitting in front of that computer screen. So you can roll the shoulders around. All right. Just settle in the seat and take another deep breath. And exhale. Now follow the breath. bring your attention to the exhale. So now we'll do a body scan, starting at the bottom of our feet to the top of our feet, up the legs, into the knees. See if there's any torquing in there and just release it and just take a deep breath there. Release. Into the thigh and the hamstring. And the sit bones, from the sit bones to the spine, and the spine is free of tension and erect and balanced over the sit bone, over the tailbone. The head balanced on the spine. Head to spine, spine to sit bones. The tummy rises and falls easily with the breath, expanding and contracting. Up into the chest and the shoulders, down the arms, just releasing any tension. Up the arms and into the neck. Release the jaw, release the tongue, release the face, feel a sensation between the eyebrows, known as the third eye, or even the crown of the head. Again, just observe and detach. Taking a deep breath together then, and releasing into the silence now for about 20 minutes. attention gently back into the room, staying with the breath. Imagine with me that there is in your very heart center the flame of the divine. And as we understand, by definition, the divine is everywhere present, and it is present in the very air that we breathe. So let's imagine fanning that flame with the breath, breathing in light, exhaling love. Breathing in light, exhaling love. So imagine with this exercise that this flame now is growing into a ball of light in our very heart center. Light that illuminates rather than consumes. That it expands with each in-breath. Rising and falling in the way that you would blow up a balloon. Breathing in light, exhaling love, breathing in light, exhaling love, expanding now beyond the body, torso, side to side, front to back, top to bottom. Breathing in light, exhaling love. Now we're sitting in this field of light and love. Breathing in light, exhaling love until it enlightens the very room that we are in. And in this field of light and love, now we are connected with others on this call right now. Breathing in light, exhaling love. And so from this conscious unity in light, in breath and love, speaking my word for everyone now that there is but one power, one presence, one source, one life, one light, expressing itself, impressing itself in, through, and as all of life. That we feel our heart opening, we feel our minds open at the top. So as we bask in this field of oneness, we call forth that which we want to see demonstrate in our life. So for Brenda to continue to grow in strength and health, and for a couple of the parents of our members, that their fathers grow in strength and are raised in support and love in this moment. That we know for Cheryl that she continues to experience radiant good health in all of its forms, that she continues to breathe easily and effortlessly, breathing in the healing light of the divine with each breath. So I invite you now to speak your own word into this space. So from this conscious union with the One, I know and declare for each one here that there is power and authority in our word, for it is impressing itself even now upon this field of light and love, expressing as the very mind of the divine itself, that the divine is responding to this call from that place within its own being that knows only to say yes. A perfect love, that it appears to be impersonal, acting as law. Take a deep breath and exhale. And so we exhale and release this word with deep gratitude and supreme confidence, knowing that our word cannot be returned void. So we know that with every breath, the body temple is fully and completely restored, that with every breath, at an atomic level, that the energy of the divine itself is fortifying and restoring every atom, every molecule, every cell, every organ, every muscle, every bone, every sinew is activated and expressing as the divine pattern of perfection of radiant good health. That we know that our mind is open to new and dynamic ideas of creativity, that we are engaging now with the power to bring these ideas forward, that we step easily into this full and complete demonstration of life expressing in, through, and as the lives of all beings. Take a breath. Again, release. And in that release, we know that it is done. And so as we leave here tonight and prepare for bed, that we hit the pillow, that we drift off to sleep easily and effortlessly, that we sleep deeply, dreaming sweet dreams, that we awaken feeling rested, restored, revitalized, full of vim and vigor and a zest for life as we move through our life, experiencing the wonder of the living Spirit expressing in, through, and as our life and the lives of those around us. Taking a breath one more time, and releasing, knowing it is done, knowing it is so. Together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. So thank you for joining us tonight. If this is your first time visiting us, and if you haven't done so already, just hit subscribe on the YouTube channel and hit that little bell, and you'll get a notification for whenever we have any live activities going on here. So on Sunday mornings at 10:25, Mike opens up the room, and we have a full Sunday program with music and message. Our wonderful assistant minister, Reverend Nancy, joins me, and our music director, Ken Francis, and Jason Goldstein to have an experience with you by means of our Sunday service. So you're welcome to join us. Join us on our website. There's all kinds of stuff going on this time of year. Classes are starting up. If you're free on Monday morning, Reverend Nicole Robbins is going to be Her next class is Exploring Roots, which is a great class that goes into some depth of some of the great teachers of New Thought. So, there's no reason for you to feel alone. We want to be here for you. If you need prayer support, you can contact me at revmike@cslgh.org, or go online, and all of our prayer practitioners are there along with our ministers, and they will be absolutely delighted to support you in whatever way needed. All right. Except don't ask them for money. No, I'm joking. Sorry. All right, so it's been good spending time with you tonight. Go in peace and love, and we'll see you next time.